What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. This is Russell. We have more Watcher of Realms here for you. Man, I have had a crazy week, and boy, am I tired. Like, I was somewhat insomniac, chronic fatigue, all that to begin with. But now, oh my god, my wife and I, we have been visiting the hospital. The babies are in the NICU. They're preemie. There's nothing hugely wrong with them. But we've been staying out there pretty late, coming back here, resting up, going to work, doing it all again. Or she's on maternity. I'm back to work, starting the new job. So I'm exhausted, and I can feel my short-term memory fading. But here we have a different account here. You may have noticed the lack of level 100, way less gems, all that fun stuff. We are actually doing the Epics Only Challenge. Shout out to Swollen Goat. He gave me the idea for the name. I know it was just a joke, but I kind of loved it. So we are Rossel Stomped. This is the Epics Only account. I've been participating the whole time, but I obviously haven't posted any updates because it has been a nightmare. Even just being able to be here at my recording setup. So I'm probably a bit behind most of you. But I will try my best to keep up. I obviously won't be able to post updates every day like a lot of the other content creators. I apologize if that's if that offends you that much. I have a feeling that most of you are probably going to be okay with it, considering the excuse that I have. But let's go ahead and take a look at the progress that I have been able to make thus far. Haven't been doing too much in Arena here, just basically whatever I can do to scrape by. Nightmare Blood, pretty low, but excuse me, again, I'm just trying to keep up as best I can. I feel like the raids here are going all right. We have stage 12 in GR1, GR2 and 3 are both stage 10, and Artifact is stage 9. That was all completed relatively recently. I haven't done too much today. Here we have the normal campaign. We're in chapter 8. Hard, we just cleared chapter 5, so we're in chapter 6. And I haven't done anything in Expert yet. I've just been following the storyline pretty closely. Insignia, this is going to come up a bit later. We have stage 15, 15, 15, 12. I have no fighters, so that's actually what we're going to be hoping for today. And XP and gold raid, nobody really cares about that. Tide, trash content, and yeah, so it hasn't been all that long. First or second day, I didn't even have access to the faction trial, so that's all we have there. Now, as you can see, we do need some more fighters in order to progress. So I have been actually saving up my summonings. Not all of them, obviously. I did most of my summons on the first 2 days, I think. And then I've been saving it since then for... we don't have an event here. We have an Oracle's Trial. The Arrival of Heroes. I figured, why not? Why not try and score as many points here as we can today? You see, I did my free summon. I got... it was an uncommon hero. I think I remember that. But yeah, it would be nice to here you can see my pretty hospital bracelets. Where was I? You see? Yeah, so I wanted to try and get the Eliza shards from Arrival of Heroes. I was hoping for Spiritual Altar, but we didn't get that. Cave of Relics, I'm kind of stomping here because I'm in overdrive trying to get everybody as high as we can go, which is actually a good segue because I forgot to leave space for the intro. So, be back in a sec. All right, welcome back. So, as you can see, we have our first 6-star Egil. I figured that was a fitting choice. She is just phenomenal in most aspects of the game. You know, like Guild Boss aside, and even early on in Guild Boss, she's pretty solid. And I've been hard at work getting a fairly stacked, I want to say, roster. Basically, all of the epics I've managed to get, you know, aside from Mari. We get Ain tomorrow. That's going to be really nice. And of course, Meryl and Brunor. I don't really care about either of them. I'm considering bringing up Brunor, but it's going to depend on what we get for our summonings here. And yeah, these guys, they've been carrying me super well. Avalyn has been an absolute G unit. She actually does decent damage in campaign, which is kind of mind-blowing. And she gets the extra block, which has come in really handy. And Cyrene, who does terrible damage, but she does damage, you know, it is there. And of course she generates cost, which has been really helpful for plopping more units onto the board. Yankar has actually been pretty phenomenal as well. He has the extra block, he has the curse application, and he does magic damage, which is surprisingly relevant. But, you know, we have some fairly standard cases. You know, we got Maul, very fortunate about that. Vortex, Lightlock, I was able to graduate from Camille relatively early. And Iona was actually an interesting case. I did pick up the pack, but fairly shortly after, I actually did pull her anyway, so it was kind of unnecessary. So womp womp there, but you know, it's a free awakening. We got Baron. Asoth has been kind of useless, but you know, he'll be good in Guild Boss once I have some better gear, and that's kind of what I am lacking here. Is I've not been farming a whole lot of gear. I've been focusing on progression, you know, minimal farming aside from XP, just to get through as much content as we can until I can get to like the Calamity, what's the other one? The Life Force, maybe some Whirlwind early on, and then you know, I'd love to get like to the Wisdom and all that, but even just Night Terror would be fantastic here. Other than that, you know, we haven't done a lot of artifact farming either. Like I mentioned, basically just trying to progress as far as possible with as minimal farming, because we want to maximize what we have available. And you know, I've been saving my diamonds here. I would like to use as many of those as possible for stamina, right? I want to use those for farming. And Fastidious, he also mentioned, and he's right, that since we're not really legendary chasing here, we're basically just hunting for a handful of epics, and then after that we can do a ton of farming. So with that, let's actually go over to the summon page here, and should be able to pick up another rare. So that's going to be at least 80, and the game is laggy as all holy hell. That's not been a lot of fun. But the epics that we are looking for, of course, I would love Hollow, I would love Dolores, excuse me, I would love Laurel, Estrid, of course, that would be phenomenal. And then, you know, Gluttony and Voroth, they would be great for progression too. Let's see if there's anyone that I am forgetting. Excuse me. Come on. Dude, the lag in this game has been atrocious lately. Moonton needs to fix this. And for those wondering, yes, this is on BlueStacks, but it's not been isolated to BlueStacks, and it's not been consistent either, right? Like yesterday, I had absolutely no issues. The day before that, I had a ton of lag, and today I have a ton of lag. So it seems to be the game itself. But anyway, back to this. We have all of the lords. I don't have any of these epic lords, so any of them would be great. Komodo for the fusion. Olag will get him, so it's not a big deal. Dallin also for the fusion. All of the fusion characters, basically. Yeah, I would be great. But Yeah, I'm just going to get into it here before I lose too much of my train of thought. So, here's hoping we pull some nice epics. Let's go. Okay, off to a nice start. It's weird not wanting the orange. Not that precludes us from getting an ep, of course. Dolores! Hell yes! There is an asterisk here. Really early on, she is not very helpful. She really doesn't do much at all. But later on, and I don't have the share, I don't think. But let's try it anyway. But anyway, later on, of course, she is phenomenal. And of course, you know, end game. Oh, I do have that set up. Cool. End game, she kind of drops off again. But you know, for a really long stretch during the middle and the late game, she is a phenomenal character. So I'm really happy to pick her up early on, because I think in my main it took about 2,600 summons, something like that, to pick her up. So we've fortunately had a lot better luck here. Can we get a holo? I did promise somebody I would get a Dolores holo double. I don't think that's going to happen, but I mean, Dolores Awakenings, you know, on my main, they are pretty inconsequential, but here they would be pretty great. And let's see, we've got another epic. Who do we get? Maul Awakening, can't complain. Imani, she is useful for the Mica Fusion, and she's also very useful on her own. I did not forget. I've been very busy. I have my free-to-play Gear Dungeon 2 Stage 10 basically wrapped up. I was able to record a 3-star finish. I know how to make it work relatively consistently. It depends on Volka's mood, basically. If Volka wants to play ball, we can do it. So I will get that out as soon as possible, and Imani is an integral part of it, so I'm happy to pick her up. Not necessarily for this account, but you know, eventually that might be relevant. If we ever get an epic anti-heal, I'll be happy to put together a Gear Dungeon 1 Stage 10 free-to-play guide. And another epic here. I am super happy about that. Selkath, he blows. I don't know if I'm going to be able to make anything work with him, but we'll keep him. I mean, I might sell him off for the coins if it becomes necessary to pick something up out of the shop, but otherwise I'm just going to keep at least one copy of everybody. Mario Awakenings, pretty nice. Let's see, we still need fighters. We are still just so hard up for fighters, man. We basically have 2. Medan, okay. Beautiful pickup here. She is great. My main doesn't even have Draga, and this is the second alt account that I've summoned her on. So, okay. Excuse me, my throat's dry here. Just a second. I've been talking a lot to the doctors and all of that as well. But I don't actually know how good she is. There's your jiggle. I know almost nothing about this character. I think she's kind of ass because she was a fusion, like a limited fusion ingredient hero. So like they're usually not that good. But I'll keep her. You know, she might end up being useful somewhere. But wow, 4 epics, 2 of which are Brunor. I might end up working him up. But notice the lack of epic fighters. That's kind of driving me a little nuts here. And if possible, I would like to keep summoning until we get an epic fighter, preferably 2, and then I'll probably call it there. But you know, it's going to depend on how these shake out, right? So let's see what we get. We actually don't care about picking up legendaries, but these tax rounds are also equally rough. So let me pick these up here. Come on. Give me my stuff. Dude, Moonton, we have a lot of things to address here. And once I am able to form complete thoughts, I will be bitching about that. Do not worry. Okay, come on, more epics, more epics. Yes, good. Show me the money. Soleil. Soleil almost made a guest appearance in the Gear Dungeon 2 Stage 10 video. Oh my god, I apologize for that. She was actually very good at dealing with one of the magic clones. The problem was she was terrible at dealing with another one that I needed her to deal with. And of course she was Watcher, she was Infernal. I tried a whole lot of different things. I tried Hyros as Lord, I tried Ain as Lord. I don't believe the final clear ended up using either of those as Lords, but yeah, she showed a lot of promise. But that's it, really. She never really materialized. So I don't know if I'll be using her that much on this account either, because I already have a ton of mages, and she's not particularly good at what she does either, which is a bit unfortunate. She could definitely use a buff. Komodo, okay, good for the fusion. He's a fighter. I actually used him to progress quite a bit in my main, so that's not bad. I would love to pick up another one so that I can build one out for the fusion and one out for progression. He's not a phenomenal unit, but he is a fighter. That is what I asked for. So one more would be lovely. Preferably, you know, if I get another Komodo, I'd probably keep going, but Vortex, that's also for the Abomination Fusion. That's pretty nice. I forget who else is used for the Abomination Fusion, actually. I think I'll actually go check, because we're not like on a good, a good seed or anything anyway. So let me pick these up, give me my stuff. That'll be a new tagline here if this lag keeps going. Hero Fusion, Abomination, it is Demon and Harpoon. So I can't believe I'm actually wishing for those. And of course the irony is Demon is a fighter, and on my main I also used him to progress in the insignia of melee, only to progress there. He was not useful anywhere else. And I ended up actually crunching the one that I invested in. He was that bad. I crunched him into Abomination, and I just ended up keeping subsequent copies later on. So he's terrible. Even with his buff, he's still terrible. But let's keep going anyway. And of course, I wouldn't mind picking up some trophies either. Some legendaries to keep on hand just to show the crazy luck we ended up getting. Titus, I tried making him work way back when in my main. He does have value. He is also in the stage 10 for Gear Dungeon 2 guide, but that's it, right? He costs a ton. I might be able to make him work with Cyrene, but I've also got some good tanks anyway. Esme is god-awful. She was built for the previous poison iteration before it was changed. I've tried making her work. I tried using her in Gear Dungeon 2 Stage 10, and I've heard a lot of people say that she still is a good kit. She's still blah blah blah. No, she's terrible. She has unbelievably low attack, and her multipliers are dog shit. Her poison does absolutely nothing, and I was using her to try and take out the mobs that Hatsuit typically takes out, and she basically did about a quarter of the max health total by the time they started walking. About a quarter of the max health damage to one of the mobs by the time they started walking by. Like, I did better with some magic dealers, and they have almost magic immunity. Like, that's how bad Esme is. And yes, I know that poison is magic damage, but also her regular attacks did nothing. And it's not just that stage, right? So if I'm completely mistaken and she only does magic damage and that's why, like, there were other places that I've tried her and she can't do it. So I doubt I will be putting any investment into her either here. And of course, another Maul Awakening, getting closer to that. I think it's -5 cost. That would be lovely. And we are getting a lot lower on these diamonds than I am feeling comfortable. So if you could go ahead and toss me a couple fighters, that would be great. Kalina's just there to dilute the pool. She is awful. I also tried her in the stage 10, and she's just not it, man. So last bite at the apple here, at least until we pick up some more resources. Another Titus, and another Komodo. Be careful what you wish for. We did get 2 fighters, and they were both Komodo. So that's lovely. He will eventually be an abomination. An abomination is phenomenal for progression purposes. So I'm not upset about that, but I'm kind of upset about that because he could have been Estrid instead. And that kind of pissed me off a bit because in my main, I pulled 2 Estrids today. Like, until today, with my 10,000 summons, I have pulled 1 Estrid ever, and then I pulled 2 more today. And they weren't on this account that desperately needs them. So that's quite annoying. But that's the name of the game, isn't it? So I think before we take off here, because this is really laggy, and I'm gonna have to get moving here anyway. We are just going to show the trophy characters that we've picked up. I scrolled past them, but we're gonna throw a special shout out to the blessing that we got. Our Lord and Savior Leia, probably the most rare hero in the entire game, and she was the first ever legendary. Actually, the second ever legendary that this account pulled. It was on the 1-for-1, and we pulled Magda first, and Leia was the bonus hero. So she just came. She came to say hi. She came to bless this account. She came to give me all of the good luck that I'm going to need, both in real life and here. This account is hopefully going to be destined for great things. And then once this challenge is over, it may graduate to like a fully fledged alt. I'm not really sure. Obviously, my attention is a bit split at the moment. In terms of a little bonus progression that we got at the start, I did go for the level 10, level 20, level 30 bundle. I got the breakthrough, and I think I missed the breakthrough too. But that's fine. That's not a trend that's going to continue. I just wanted a little pick me up at the beginning here because obviously, I'm not 20 anymore. I have responsibilities. If I was, I would probably already be done with stage 18 on all the raids. That's just not a possibility. So I want to have fun with this. I've heard some other content creators that are already burnt out, already have given up the challenge. Maybe they don't have time. I certainly don't have time. But you never have time if it's something that you're not having fun with. So I wanted to just have that extra little pep to keep this going here. So that's what we did, and it actually has been a lot of fun. My main account pretty much runs itself at this point. It's basically just farming for better gear pieces. We have some new stuff that comes out every now and then, and I throw everything I've got at it to take it out. I'm now going to be trying to put together some more accessible guides. I have been accused of being a filthy whale, which is not necessarily inaccurate, but yeah, I've kept at least one copy of every hero. All of my epics are A5. All of my rares are A5. Every tune that I own is, level 60, 6-star, 6 promo. I basically run my own test server at this point. I've even started keeping I've even started keeping copies of artifacts I wouldn't necessarily bother to work up, just to build them up and to give them a shot. That was actually pretty fun for the Gear Dungeon 2 Stage 10 thing. But, a lot of them are still trash, but whatever, right? You got to keep it interesting. Regardless, please, leave your YouTube stuff, your likes, your thumbs up, subscribe, share, comments. I appreciate everything, all of the interaction. It's going to keep me going for this. It's going to keep me going for the war content. It's going to keep me going for all of this. And I genuinely appreciate it, like I said. In addition to that, please join the Celestials Discord, discord.gg/CLSGG. I'm there all the time, a little bit less at the moment, but come hang out, apply to the guild, apply to one of our other guilds if you're looking for something a little bit more lighthearted. The Epics Only Challenge is available on Fastidious's Discord, on his website. I don't know, I don't rep him, but if you guys know Watcher of Realms, you probably know Fastidious at this point. So yeah, that's been me. I'm gonna try and remain focused here. I've got to get back to work. Thank you very much for joining us, and I will see you in the next one.